Well, hello everybody. My name's Jerry. You're seeing this for the first time. Welcome to my page. If you are not new here, well, welcome back. Um, Today, I want to sit down and talk to you about something a little more personal. And it's basically in the years since I was a clueless 20-year-old to a slightly less clueless 49-year-old. And in the years going in the years into in between things, kind of lessons I've learned, or at least a couple things I've learned so far. This is hopefully going to start off a new series that will hopefully speak to a younger version of me that I wish I would have known these 20 years ago. So certainly, I mean, if I could send a message back to my 20-year-old self, you know, I would do it, and I think I'd be a lot happier for it. Sorry about that. So, my 20-year-old self, I mean, I went into college when I started college when I was 19. I did not go to college right away. I had made a decision on that, so I decided to just work for a semester because it took me too long to make a decision on where I was going and what I was doing. And you know, I wasn't. I didn't worry about too much about money. I had a part-time job, but as far as like income goes, something I wish I would have done way in the beginning when I first started working, even into high school, and this now we're talking in Jerry's teenage years, is I wish I would have been able to put something aside for myself, for future me. Now, that being said, I have tried that in the past, and wouldn't you know it, every time I tried putting money aside, something would come up. Car would need a repair, I would need new shoes, something. Even at my younger ages, something would go wrong and that would mess up my savings. But if I could really go back and set that aside, I would do so. And now, keeping in mind, I'm a Gen X. I'm 49 years old. I didn't spend my money too frivolously. The stack of books that you see behind me on both shelves, those came during my college years, but those are my ways of investing in myself, at least to keep my imagination running. But it's I regret not investing in a couple things. When I was in high school, early college, I saw an ad in the buyer's guide for Redbox. We didn't think that was going to work in a small town. I come from a town of 2,700 people. Well, what do you know? There's three of them in my town. Now, I don't live there any longer, but I know where they were. And I still see it going strong today. I wish I would have invested in that. Scraped enough money together, and it probably would have paid for itself, no problem. So, in the idea of saving for yourself in the future, automate it. Just have $50. If you in the day and age now that we are in um, with direct deposit, you can actually focus where that money goes, and you can say, "Hey, I want you to put $50 of every paycheck in my savings." When you get enough savings, see if you can invest in a CD, something like that. I'm not here for financial advice. Let me just tell you that I don't have education in finances, but I know enough things about through investing of what I should have done that would have probably paid off for me. As far as jobs go, every job that you have adds to your experience, and I think nowadays it's not like it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, people could go into one company and stay with that one company. That company took care of them. That's not the way it is any longer, and it hasn't been for quite some time. So honestly, if you have any ideas to the contrary of hitting a job and staying there, nah, don't. Just add to your experience. Um, I've had to leave jobs for various reasons. Most of the time, it was I was job hopping. I was trying to get to the next better paycheck, and sometimes that worked out, and sometimes it didn't. And most times, well, and those times that it didn't because it wasn't the pay that was the problem. It was the environment, negative environments. I had a job where I was paid very well. I got good bonus checks when I did my sales correctly, but on Monday we had a team meeting where we were told how much of a failure that the sales team was. That was us, in the previous week, and then of course told here's some key parts to look out for this week. And then on Friday, I'd end my work week with a one-on-one meeting with my manager, telling me how much I sucked for the entire week. And then of course Monday started the whole cycle again. It was so bad that I quit that job without a plan. And I tell you, that was the best month off I could have asked for. Thankfully, I had enough money saved up from a bonus check I was getting, another paycheck I was getting, and I was getting my taxes soon thereafter. So for at least a month and a half, I had it covered. So I had 12% of a plan. And if you know where that reference is from, congratulations, we watch the same movies. Now, what something I really want to tell younger folks out there that are going to get older, your health is not negotiable. It really isn't. I'm 49. Now, I'm not in the worst shape, but I could be in a lot better. And when I was younger, I made a dumb decision. When I was in my first college, I went through several colleges, but we'll get to that later on, in a different video, where I made a decision between academics and athletics. I couldn't do both. That was dumb. Because what happened was I completely stopped any athletic activity. Now, I was an active kid. Lots of energy, all that kind of stuff. Um, but I didn't, but I stopped being athletic. I was a runner. I played basketball poorly. Um, Took up fencing with a medieval reenactment society that kept me a little bit in shape. Took dance classes when I got to later college, but it's still nothing like when I was actually being active and using my body correctly. Also, I didn't sleep well. I started getting less sleep. I think I've been running on 6 hours of sleep a night since I was probably 18. That's not good for you. And as much as I've tried to extend it out, I'm so much in the habit. My body's so much in the habit now that it can't do it. Even my Fitbit says, "Well, you only got 6 hours of sleep, but oddly enough, it's good. Don't ask me why." And as I always end my videos with drinking more water, I'm not kidding. Now, since I don't want to ramble on too much farther, one other thing I should let you know is it's okay not to have it figured out. I don't have it figured out. I'm 49. I'm pushing 50 next summer. Now, any of the older crowd that is watching this probably going to call me a puppy. Any of the younger crowd's going to say I'm an old man, don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't have it figured out. You know, that need of a 5-year plan, that 10-year plan. I hate that job interviews, really. Where do you plan to be in the next 5 years? Well, in the next 5 years, I would have hoped to be retired, but that's not going to happen, not in this day and age. I want to be comfortable. And by comfortable, I mean I don't have to worry about where my money's coming from for my next bill. Or I shouldn't have to worry about sacrificing one thing for my bills. Maybe I want to do things. your life is going to be a constant course correction. You know, do what feels good, do what's practical, but if your head says, maybe not, well, maybe you shouldn't. So, to my 20-year-old self, maybe even younger, but to my 20-year-old self, stop stressing, start saving, build a relationship with your family, keep that relationship with your family, because when they're gone, they're gone. And you don't want that to fly by. You know, I looked up at one point in time and said, it's November already. What happened to my year? So, if you're in your 20s or 30s right now watching this, please remember the one thing that you have right now that I do not is time. Use your time wisely. You know, explore that cave. Take some friends with you. I'm an old gamer, so I liken a lot of things to my gaming experiences. You know, it's what's life without a little risk? Just make sure it's a healthy risk. But use your time wisely. Don't spend it on the grind. I'm going to have a video later on talking about work-life balance, or at least what work has been to me. So now, what I'd like to do is I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you're near my age, what's one thing that you'd like to tell your younger self? Please drop a comment. If you're younger and you got something out of this, awesome. Please let me know if this helped out, and if you like the style of video. Please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And as I always like to finish out my videos, make sure that you are drinking more water, eating cleaner food. The occasional pizza is okay, but try to keep clean as much as you can. Get active. At any age, get active. Go for a walk. Go for a run if running's your thing. Go, start a gym membership. Heck, you can download it. You can go on to YouTube and you can find a course or some type of aerobic class on there and just find it. You can find ones that are for light activity or low impact, as I like to call it, as we could find them, and just do that. Anything, whether you're young or old, it's never too late to start. Results will vary. Make sure that you are kind to animals. Make sure that you are kind to the environment. We only have the one. Be kind to the people that you meet on a daily basis. They are fighting battles that you know nothing about, and you do not need to be part of that problem. And as always, make sure that you are kind to yourself. This whole thing right now is you got to be kind to yourself because you can't be kind to others otherwise. I mean, you can, but make sure you leave some of that kindness for yourself. All right. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. You have a wonderful day.